I believe what happened was Kayla was host, and I believe she was probably leaving. But as host, when she hits end, it gets ended for everyone. So that's what I suspect happened.
How many people are in the room now?
Three. You.
Ah, yes, Joel. Joel is back too.
So I don't know whether anybody else is going to rejoin, but I think that's what happened. As
Everybody
you can
was
tell, I was
host, more or
speaking
less.
when that got cut off, so I wasn't
Yep.
doing anything at the time.
It was someone else.
So we'll see whether this continues or whether that was enough to kill them.
I think people might. Normally, I would not come back, but now I'm back.
Yep.
Just come back,
Oh,
people.
Yeah, someone is.
Just surrender.
Hey, I have to follow the money journalists I have from the Netherlands. I have to follow the money. I got the wrong thing. It's old.
Well, Joel, I don't understand your question. How do you stop the consent from taking away the beauty and spirit of the movement, the natural flow?
Moment that was meant to
No,
be.
I put it inside because I think.
Oh, yeah.
I put it inside because I copied it, but I thought I would put in something else.
That was meant to be moment. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we hear you.
Like what they were talking about was like always getting consent.
Went to
And sometimes you're in the moment. You then have to stop the flow of the moment to get the consent. If you see what I mean.
Either that
Sometimes
or
that takes away from the beauty of the whole flow.
Yeah, but that's kind of an implied consent by body language. I consent with that one. I'm okay with that one, that it happens, and there is no resistance. If there was any kind of resistance, or even a kind of I want to get away from this, move by moving away, then consent has been withdrawn.
I went to a wedding.
You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but when those charges were brought, were they eventually dropped, or what was the resolution?
It took my manager, 4 other members of staff, and lots of interviews. My manager had to go around the company and ask every guy if she'd flirted with them, and then reported that to the police as well.
Did she ever reach?
Yeah, it wasn't comfortable. No.
She still maintained.
The police decided it was nonsense.
Thank you for
what we think was happening was the girl was living with another guy who kind of ran the house, and it was his father we were looking after. And the company kind of thinks that he was trying to get money just by using an accusation and then try and sue the company.
Yeah, that's... Wow. I don't know what to say.
There's been lots of mental situations in my life that I've watched happen and that I've been in. That's just one of a few. That's why I'm kind of... I know I can't really change the world, but I might be able to build a better world with people who are interested in doing so. And, you know, get 10 to 11% and it just rolls on. More and more people follow it day by day.
Or each little hummingbirds or, you know, little birds carrying one little droplet into the burning fire. I don't think anyone else from the previous batch is going to rejoin. I just wanted to see if anybody wanted to just sort of end this kind of in a smoother way rather than just so abruptly.
And it was such a nice heated discussion. So it was very unfortunate that it was blocked in such a way.
Well, I do think that these Me Too conversations, I think, would take a different character if we actually had more women. But we kind of decided it at the spur of the moment, so I'm glad it still happened. Joel, how many of these GCC conversations have you attended to date?
This is the second.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, I tried attending yesterday, and I think I got out for about 8 or 10 minutes. I wasn't on for very long. But I was not visible on video, so...
I noticed you popped in and out yesterday. There was something, I don't know who said that today, and it's not the first time that this has been mooted. And this thing about money or power corrupts absolutely. Now, there are many instances in history where one person has had a huge following and tremendous amounts of money have poured into the coffers of that person, who has redistributed that money and built many buildings and protected that particular area. And there was no corruption.
I think it has to do with the spectrum of people.
No. What I'm refuting here is quite simple. It's that particular saying that power corrupts absolutely does not apply across the board. So I'm taking a quote, like there are many quotes which do not ring true. If there is even one exception, then you can throw it out of the window with the wash.
No, again, these memes, again, follow a spectrum. It's not these people. All phenomena follow spectral behavior.
To continue, if I may, please, it's not just the words, it's the phraseology as well that needs to be borne in mind. To go back to what Joel said, sticks and stones may not break my bones, but certainly a single command might get me shot. Therefore, I don't know how this can be feasible or how possible. I do know it costs a lot of money, because that's what Mr. Zuckerberg is going to say when he says, I want everybody to get this message on the same day and every hour on the same day for the next month. And he's going to say, that's going to cost you X amount of dollars. And that's what it comes down to, is the buying power of your dollar, pound, lucre, dollar, cent, euro, whatever it is you got in your pocket. Or making a meme out of it and sending it out and say, spread this far and wide, that good people who do good should be promoted and not laughed at. And those are the people we should be looking to elect as our leaders, not the ones who promise you a lot of things, and 4 years later, they robbed you a lot of money and done nothing with the promises.
What I was going to say earlier, democracy leads to demagoguery.
There you go. And then you've got to have a rejoinder how to get out of the demagoguery.
How do you do that?
You have to complete every statement. It must be a balanced statement, a balanced quote. These unbalanced quotes are a pain in the hacienda. Have you gone, Sam? Was it something I said? Or was it something I didn't say?
Yes, I took personal affront at you. Every statement you say, sends chills down my spine. No, I don't think so.
Should I be glad of that one?
It's power. Take the power.
Anyway, much of the time when I actually go invisible, I have to take one of these, okay, and stick it in my ear, okay? So I just decide to...
Don't do that! Don't do that. I'm not coming all the way over there to get that cotton bud out of your ear with my long tweezers.
Oh, but it feels so good.
My niece did that about 3 weeks ago. And then she came down here holding her ear and said, it's stuck in there. So I got it out, then I went upstairs and confiscated all her cotton buds. She went livid. She hasn't spoken with me since.
Therefore, if you value
I'm
my
ever so
friendship,
grateful for
do not
tiny
make
little
these
buds
cotton
like
swabs
that.
out of me.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's good to see you again, Joel. You're looking much better.
Things are clearer.
Good.
Still lots of questions in my mind, but not time of right.
Well, Sam, Thais, everybody here is to answer questions. You get a wide spectrum of answers. Take your choice.
And not all of us answer them with more questions. Some of us do.
How do you know how to answer a question unless you make sure you know what the question is?
Oh, you don't have to know the question to get the answer, boy.
Oh, that's intuition. That takes a special
that's a
mind.
different matter. Now you're qualifying things.
Now the use of the word boy also triggers me, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a boy. I'm a man. I'm a monkey.
It was a compliment.
Take it. I'm young and beautiful.
Handsome, more like. I wouldn't say you're beautiful. I don't find you at all attractive.
Anyway, I'm going to go invisible.
Okay.
Where'd he go?
Who's host?
Possibly me.
No, it's only Sam who's host, so he's left it running. For
Okay, I'll make you all host, okay? Here we go. All co-hosts, I mean.
Okay. That gives us 47 minutes, 46 minutes before we have to vacate, because then the next meeting will
Not
take
true,
place.
because the previous recording already ended. This
Yeah.
one started a brand new session. It can go again for up to 4 hours if you choose, okay?
Don't you just hate it when people say I'm going invisible and then they start chuntering in the background?
No, invisible doesn't mean deaf. Come on. I thought you
Taxi
knew
drivers.
English. I thought you knew the English language, just Winder. Geez.
Language is a wonderful thing. I wish the English speakers learned how to use it.
Okay, since you're off kilter, I'm going to make Tees the actual host.
Okay.
People don't even know what the word stupid means. Drives me mad.
What does it mean?
Having or showing a significant lack of intelligence, which, considering the definition of intelligence includes knowledge, I consider any lack of any discipline to be significant.
I'll look it up on the Collins or the Oxford in a moment. But doesn't stupid come from the word stupor?
Probably.
In contrast with idiocy, in contrast with dumb.
But even dumb's an Americanism. Dumb means to quieten, whereas the Americans made it into being stupid and not intelligent. All it really means is not to be able to speak.
That's right. To have a stupor. It's been misconstrued. All yours, Thijs.
Yeah, remember the Dutch influence on American language, and we say doof, stom, which means deaf and not speaking. Maybe it's a contraction. So this is dom, and dom becomes dumb. Dom is maybe coming from deaf and not speaking.
The European languages are based on Latin, and obviously it spread all over the world. And not to mention that Sanskrit and Latin were one language at some time going back. I don't know how many thousands of years, maybe 6,000, 7,000 of years or more. Yes, Thijs.
English words that I cannot find in my own language mainly have a Latin root. Dutch is less influenced by Latin than English is.
Okay.
Also because of William the Conqueror, of course.
Okay.
I think he took Latin with him, although he was Norwegian by origin.
Well,
I mean,
what I'm
Normandy.
saying in a roundabout way is that even the Scandinavian, the Norwegian languages, including the language of Punjabi and Far Eastern, some of the Far Eastern languages have a common root, which is the mixture of Sanskrit and Latin. And at some point or other, those separated, and we have what I would term a speciation starting to occur. Language is one of the main factors of a speciation.
Yes, and that means also that the Dutch are always surprised that Iranians are so good in learning Dutch, but actually the root of the both languages, say the Germanic languages and Iranian languages, are similar, just as you said. And there is a huge difference with Arabic, which might have the same root. I don't expect it. I mean, must be from a longer past.
Well, there are a lot of words which occur currently in the English language, which also occur in the Arabic language. And there are a lot of names, place names, which translate and transcribe quite accurately. So it seems to me that, yeah, the root language is very similar. I went to Wales in 2017 over the Christmas period, and for the first time I actually paid attention to the written Welsh language, and it was very similar to the Far Eastern written language, and the pronunciation was shockingly similar. So sometime or other, people from the very Far East, the Romani people, which traveled all the way through Europe, have ended up in Wales and settled there, and some of them went on to Ireland, I understand. I've not looked at the DNA distribution of populations of recent times in the last 2,000–3,000 years, but I ought to certainly. All yours, Thijs.
Yeah, you're correct. The Welsh and Scottish, in the stories that I see on YouTube, so the historical, then they say they came along the coast, and so you have Brittany in France. So these were coastal dwellers that went up to Scotland.
And the other thing which I mentioned some weeks ago on GCC is the recent excavation of coastal sites in South America and the south of North America, which had settlements from the Far East, going back thousands of years. I mean, by that, I mean about 20,000 years. So they must have had boats that can travel or island hop and get around there. So the whole thing, the whole history of the distribution of the human race as such will have to be remodeled soon.
Well, that's not confirmed on the genetics as far as I know. So the artifacts are there, as you say, but the genetics are not yet found. So this is a very strange coincidence.
I think it's only a matter of time before. The thing is, some of the Far Eastern countries, even today, cremate rather than bury. So each and every death would not have been buried at all unless it's accidental. And I'm pretty sure that there must have been some accidental deaths which are still there somewhere. and as in flooding and or other events where people get buried alive, and it's just a matter of time before we find that DNA. So yeah, it'll happen.
The problem when you only base everything on evidence and you know how long the evidence can either live or it just wasn't created. There's a lot of people who love the idea that it didn't happen if there's no evidence for a great many reasons.
Lack of evidence is not lack of occurrence. It's just that lack of evidence.
Well, the universe only started 6,000 years ago, I thought.
I didn't quite understand that.
The universe.
According to which religion?
No,
Ask the older ones. They believe a lot different.
probably.
I can hear the birds at the background of your well.
Seagulls.
Yeah, seagulls, yes.
Yeah, I've got a family living on my roof. I had 3 of them fletchlings up there for a while. Saved 2 of them and gave one a bird bath to bath in and recorded that. That was awesome. Really kind of sweet watching this little bird have a bath where it normally wouldn't be able to. It disappeared. Don't know where it went, but the others still keep coming back, and the parents. It's kind of great. I've got about 80 gig worth of recordings. I need to get round and edit and put onto YouTube at some point. I don't know, kind of distracted me from my coursework. Maybe a little bit too much. Became more interesting.
Do you
to
know
watch
you're
them.
not looking into the camera, Joel?
Yes, camera's there.
Yes.
You're over there.
You're looking at me. I'm not in the camera. That's it. That's it. Okay. The camera is separate from your screen. I have the camera on top of, if I look straight, I have the camera also straight. So
I'm
it's one
using
screen.
my
One screen.
iPad through my computer.
Yeah.
So I've got an app that lets me use the camera of my iPad as a webcam through my PC. So I'm doing that because the iPad only let me see 4 people and I prefer to see everyone I'm talking to. PC, see everyone.
Seagulls here know to find food, so they rip apart the plastic bags of anybody because they expect to find food. So they are learning to eat like us from these shops. How you call it? These shops that make you very thick.
The seagulls here are very fat.
Yeah, they eat patat and so on. The way that the French fries, anything, they know where to find it and they eat it.
Brighton's got 160 restaurants. The seagulls have been going a bit mental because they haven't been operating. So it's been a bit mental watching it all. I've seen seagulls come in and attack other seagull flocks. That's kind of weird. Just sitting there and all of a sudden these different seagulls come in and start dive bombing all the other seagulls. And you just see them all start fighting. It's like, wow, okay, that's new.
The Seagull Wars. Okay, then it would be a nice story. You can write it down. You can make it up. A sort of fantasy. You know all the types of seagulls there are.
We put two around here. The lesser greybacks and the greater greybacks. They're the ones that tend to be around here. Should I share? Oh, that's going to be a WAG file, isn't it? Or is it? There my seagulls.
In the Netherlands, I see larger crows fighting with magpies sometimes. Because the larger crows are able to function as a flock, while magpies are not functioning as a flock. So then a flock of birds go after the magpies.
Seagulls around here will eat them. Big. There's seagulls around here eating pigeons, just full on one go. People been paying attention and broke in, went in and stole all the food and found the seagull going through the bin.
That's funny. So they're really, they become burglars.
Kind of amusing to watch it. One of them had a jug of water that I was giving them, and one of them nicked the jug of water out of my hand and just ran off with it. I love animals. They do amazing things. It's just fun to watch them. All kinds of different natures. I think it's getting near dinner time. Right. Yeah. It is dinner time, I think.
What's for dinner?
Tonight, bolognese. Yeah, I'm up here.
You're talking about spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, well, technically it's not bolognese. It's just close to it. Just pasta and mince, lots of veg.
Who's cooking it?
I've already cooked it. I do up big batches of meals and then freeze them.
Aha.
It's better when you're cooking for yourself.
Mm.
And what has Jaswinder on his dinner list? What's inside Jaswinder?
At the moment, tea, lots of tea. I haven't had anything to eat since about 1 o'clock, 1:15.
And you will not know what is your dinner dish.
The pudding is sweet rice or creamed rice. And dinner, I think, will be vegetables sauteed in an onion sauce with lots of spices and a couple of chapatis.
Sounds good.
Chapatis?
Oh yeah, it'll blow my head up again. I look forward to it.
I don't know chapatis. Chapatis.
It's unleavened bread to you. Round,
type of bread.
Flat bread.
Okay.
Very thin. I like them very, very thin, but not too thin that they become too dried out.
I would say pancakes or something, but it's a thin like, but only the bread like, yeah, but very thin.
They are bread. They're the old unleavened bread before people realized we could use yeast. And in the Far East, they don't use yeast for anything other than making beer, and that's something that was taken from the West.
Best use of yeast.
I tell a lie. No, there are references to wine in literature. So they had yeast, but they never used yeast in making bread. Okay, it's coming up to, well, it is 7:30. Somebody's put a photograph on it. Joel's put a photograph. 4.3 megabytes. I will download that and look at it later.
It says it's recording, but I'm not going to save it, so I don't know. Okay.
Let me see.
It said it's being
Sam
recorded.
is still recording.
Yeah, but Sam is recording, yeah. But I'm host.
Well, he did share host. Everybody can record it if you want to record it on your
Yes.
PC. You
Yes.
can record it.
Yes.
If you want, I think anybody can stop the meeting as well, or we can all do it together or whatever. Certainly, I'm going to take a break now. It's been 3.5 hours. I had
Yes.
a leak earlier, and I'm looking forward to a fresh cup of coffee or something.
I missed the shopping opportunity.
Drinking out of one of these things, it does spoil the taste because the cap is plastic.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm a tea addict. It's my last addiction apart from sex.
Right. Oh, I gave up sex 7 years ago. Run away, they're trouble.
Well, you're young enough, you can start again. Nobody's interested in me, especially as I've got 2 teeth missing. I did contemplate joining a matchmaker, but I thought better of it and thought, nah, knock it on the head.
My last ex tried to baby trap me with another man's kid. After that, I decided I'm focusing on my degree.
Good idea. But after that, you'll have time. You've got time for all sorts of things yet.
Yes. Right people, not the wrong people. No point in wasting time on the wrong people.
There is no such thing as the wrong people. They're just misguided. How to bring them back to the fold is a long, arduous job. And some of us have got nothing better to do, really. Goodbye. Good night. See you tomorrow, Sunday, last day of the week tomorrow. Same time, same channel.
Tomorrow, same time, yes. And then Doc is hosting.
Tomorrow is unblocking. So if you have any blockages you want unblocking, we will have Dougie to unblock us.
Dougie?
He's very eloquent, sometimes too eloquent. But he's quite good at what he does. Did you attend Friday, Joel?
No, I was here Thursday.
Okay.
Yesterday I had too much to do.
Okay. See you tomorrow if you attend then. I'm going now.
Have a good evening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, let me just cancel that and save the chat for the last time. Save your chat before you press leave.
I don't believe so soon.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.